Canine Detection Collaborative, a detection dog training trio with Stacy Barnett.
Hi.
Robin Grubel.
Hey there.
And Crystal Wing.
What's up?
With humor and a big dose of theory, our trio talks practical training advice and features interviews with top trainers and scientists. It's Canine Detection Collaborative.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Canine Detection Collaborative. I'm Robin Grubel, and I am here with Stacy Barnett.
Hello.
And Crystal Wing.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. So our listeners may not know, but we actually spend quite a bit of time thinking about what we're going to spend some time talking about and hopefully share. And one of the things that always seems to be a common discussion amongst the three of us is the whole concept is what is keeping you from ... And this one is kind of running true at the moment for me of what is keeping me from training on a regular basis.
That's a very good question.
Right. And this is okay. I've got the natural.
You must not like it. That must be what it is. You don't like training. That's it, right?
Hopefully our editor guy is good enough. I have puppies in the background who are currently rambunctiously barking.
They're all good.
So,
you can't hear a single thing.
Okay. Well, that's good. So
it's a dog podcast,
yeah, they'll figure it out.
Sweet puppy sounds.
Yeah. So
that's what's keeping you from training.
Yeah.
Actually, up until about last week, yes, because they've just hit the age, that 3 week to 5.5, 6 week thing. Very needy. Now they just poop a lot. They're ready to go home. So that's my
poop out.
Yeah. So that's kind of my excuse, but it's also one of those things that we were lucky enough to have the Scandinavian Working Dog Institute and Canine Project in town all last week. And one of the plethora of things that I took away from that inspiring week was that one of the best indicators of a good canine handler on the professional side is the concept of dutifulness.
Okay.
And what that was kind of entailed was the ability and grit to just, when you need to, you train the non-sexy stuff. And so it turned into this whole concept, because I was driving back and forth, of self-reflection on puppies notwithstanding.
Right.
What keeps me from training?
Yeah.
Some of it's goals, some of it's because I don't want to train what needs to be trained. Some of it's, all of those sorts of things. And it's not very fun and nice to look in the mirror sometimes.
Oh, I know that. Yeah.
Right. And so, and one of the fun, interesting things was thinking about, can I do that for 5 minutes a day?
Now, I saw on your Canine Census Facebook page that you were focusing on contact healing or contact transportation.
Yeah, contact transport. Mm-hmm.
Contact transport. So is that kind of along those lines of what you were thinking of, like, this is something I'm going to focus on? And
that and the fact that Nico hurt himself. And so for the next 14 days, he can't
poor baby.
He can't do, physical activity. So I have a KNPV line Dutch Shepherd who needs brain work.
Mm-hmm.
And a contact heel is going to be something that's super fantastic. And it's in my life, it's actually quite functional,
Right.
And so
Right.
because everybody says, oh, you're going to work on healing. And I have competition, flashy, prancy healing stuff going through my head. And I was like, no, I need to safely get my dog from point A to point B without him pulling me over. Put him on the scale today. He's like 78 pounds.
Choo.
Yeah. And I don't need him pulling me. So I was like, if I give myself this timeline, I have 14 days to train this.
Wow.
And I can do it, because when you make a progression plan, it's all the little tiny steps. And wouldn't you know, in about 5 minutes today, I taught him successfully on a visual cue to walk up behind me and rest his chin in my hand with us both facing the same direction. Wow. Who knew training worked? What a concept.
That's pretty amazing. I'm sitting there going, and now, we're talking about like what's keeping you from, and I'm like, I need that skill. Right. And then I'm thinking, but what's keeping you from the fact that I'm leaving Thursday,
right?
Drive to Florida, and then I'm trialing Saturday, and then that's what's keeping me from doing all these things is my crazy life. And I'm sitting here going, I need to do that too. And my first thought was like, oh, hey, I could do it with you. And then I go, oh my God, I'm getting in the car on Thursday.
Right. But what keeps you from working on it at the rest stop for 5 minutes?
Oh, you're rough, man. Hold me accountable, will you? Jeez.
Well, I think I just shared a video of that too, I had checkmate while I was getting gas. And every time I get gas, I get him out, we train, I put him up. I just usually don't video it because it's the extra hassle of getting the camera out. And we're only doing it for like 2 minutes anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm being so, the peer pressure. It's just,
but the other thing is too,
I'm joking, but
right,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the whole reevaluation of, okay, let's have time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what does that look like on, even the whole concept of like today was horrible for my eating habits, but tomorrow's a new day. And so what's keeping you from, or what's keeping me from changing your eating habits because it will perpetuate a better lifestyle?
Yeah.
And a lot of it is that the mental stuff that we have going on in our head.
Yep.
And finding the appropriate thing that works for you.
Yeah.
So that my big two is the dutifulness and finding time. I have a lot of dogs.
I love it. But I'm feeling guilty, like at the same, and I'm feeling like, oh my God, feel attacked. It's just kind of,
but
yeah, it's so much easier to make excuses. I'm just, gosh.
Yeah.
I think it goes back to when we had Liz Joyce on and we talked about, I think I mentioned about motivation as the result of action and it's not the cause of it.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think for me, I have to keep going back to that she kept saying about getting started even in really small ways.
Yeah.
That form of like active inspiration.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to help. And I think having accountability buddies, because I know, Robin, we talked about when I was up there in Iowa at the Scandinavian Working Dog Institute seminar, we had talked about maybe making like a Facebook group and sharing training videos to keep us accountable and have those buddies. And so that might be, something that we could still initiate now that we're maybe not as tired.
Count me in, please. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. And she was also saying, like Liz was saying, like how we had just it's just a couple minutes, right? And it's kind of that same concept that we're talking about is that it's not necessarily, you don't have to go out and train for 2 hours. It could just be, hey, I'm in my pajamas. Hey, let me grab a few cookies and just a quick, behavior.
Well, and we were talking about this and Nancy was like, it takes me 4 minutes. It takes 4 minutes for my coffee from her French press to steep.
Uh-huh.
And so she's like, this is 4 minutes of training time instead of just standing there and watching the coffee percolate or whatever French presses
yeah.
do.
Whatever happens with the French press, I don't know.
Right.
I have a Keurig, so I can't relate. But I know I get coffee. I don't know.
Yeah, it comes out. So the whole concept is that's 4 minutes that she can now use for dog training.
Yeah. Then fast forward, you see that really like badass video of her like healing Ben at the skate park on Facebook. And I'm sitting here going, oh,
holy cow.
Wow. Look at that. That was impressive, by the way. Shout out to Nancy. Holy cow, man, that was incredible.
And so you think about all of the little stuff that, it takes all of these little tiny things to build big things. And I think we talked one time about, you eat an elephant a spoonful at a time. And I
really hate that.
I know that whole connotation, but
it's just like, it's like, it just kind of makes my stomach hurt. How
about you eat a gallon of ice cream? It reminds me of
Crystal's chicken. Okay. Crystal's chicken that she had tonight. It gives me the same mental imagery.
Okay. How about then you eat a gallon of ice cream, one spoonful at a time?
Oh, no. Well, that's just horrible. You don't want to do that. You want to eat the whole thing.
I know. But in all of the complex behaviors that we're training our dogs to do.
I'm being difficult.
I know, it's okay. We do it little tiny pieces at a time. So why don't we try and modify our own behavior the same way?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Because we look at our dog training and we're like, oh, well, you know what? You just need to go a little closer to the thing, or just shorten your, I'm teaching 101 right now. And it's really interesting to see how people, if they jumped to the exercise where the switch box is too far out and they start too far away, how they lose the criteria of their dog at the switch box, right?
Right.
So, I tell them, well, move up about 4 feet. And they're like, and then all of a sudden the dog does it. So it's just like breaking it out. And sometimes I think it's so obvious to us as dog trainers to, reduce the distance, make things something easier, reduce the distraction, right? All of these things, all 6 of the Ds. So that, sorry.
You're not sorry. You shouldn't say sorry.
No, I'm not sorry at all.
When
I'm
you're
not
sorry. I'm just going to put that out there.
It was intentional. It was truly intentional. It was completely intentional.
You got what you wanted.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have said it, right? So, but it's the same thing. We're using all the Ds, right? We automatically start to break things out. But when we're thinking about just doing our own thing, how all of a sudden it's big and insurmountable, and I'm like, well, I'm traveling on Thursday, and I can't. Good point.
So I'm going to go back to the whole thought of habit stack. And you talked about Nancy with her coffee and the Facebook stuff that goes around. You know how many times they say you have to have 21 reps and then it becomes a habit? Have you seen that on Facebook? And
I have, and they lie.
It's such a lie. It's 2 to 8 months before it's really going to become a habit. Yeah. And I think that's such a hard thing to have out there, because then when it's not a habit and people are like, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. That's just a lie. So it's going to take more time than that. But one thing that I like that Jens said when he was here at the seminar, and he said that it's well invested time. So putting in those shorter sessions every day, that's what's going to make the difference. And you cannot compensate that with larger infrequent sessions. And so that's with training. And I think that's also with ourselves. So you can't, like if it's about working out, like when we talked to Liz, if it's about conditioning your dog, you can't sit there and try to get your muscles or your mind or anything to stay focused and to do productive work for a long period of time. And so you can't all of a sudden just force yourself in these infrequent long sessions to make up what you haven't been doing as short consistency throughout time. And consistency, oh my gosh, it's so hard. And I think my brain struggles with consistency. So I love that, he said, I want everybody right now to sit back for a moment. All right. So relax wherever you are, sit back.
Except for if you're driving.
Unless you're driving. And then you can still sit back. Just keep your hands on your wheel and just think for a second. We're going to give a little pause here. what is some time in your life right now that you could habit stack? So we gave the example of Nancy's coffee. So go through your day in your mind for a second and think about, when could you add in that fill in the blank, the thing that you're wanting to do this thing. It's something's keeping you from it. Can you habit stack it? Think for a second.
I thought about all of this. And one of the things, and especially with Nico, since he's down, I have 5 minutes where when I walk down the stairs to put them to bed at night, to put the dogs to bed, I can take 5 minutes and work on his healing in my kennel room every night. And that's every night. That's in addition to whatever other time I might have with him during the day right now, which is a lot since he's broken. But I can also rotate which dog I work every night. So each dog is getting something for 5 minutes. I set the timer on my phone so I can be done.
Mm-hmm.
And it really helps with the, you know what, I'm doing it for 5 minutes. We're doing obedience. It's nothing complicated. All I need is some treats, a hand, and a clicker. And because the dogs are all super excited. So that's kind of my habit. That's where I'm stacking in that extra space.
Yeah.
I think you hit one really important, what's keeping you from, and Checkmate is going to have his hip replacement right around the time that this is airing, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And so there's a lot of struggle that's going to,
struggle.
Yeah, it's a matter of trying to get him conditioned the best that I can until then so that he can recover as fast as possible. But like right now, he has a broken paw pad from the ice. And so the injuries of the dogs, along with injuries of ourselves, sometimes can get us locked in this perhaps pity party or just this general blech. And I think the other thing that puts me there, I will let the weather do that to me as well.
Absolutely.
And yeah. And so something that I really enjoyed that Jens also said was he set his, habit of when he was going to train, and he would say that, the weather was really terrible on the next day that he was planning to train. And so he looked at the forecast and said, okay, well, on the crappy weather day, I'm going to go ahead and do the indoor stuff. And then on the good weather day, I'll be outside. And he said, nope, instead, you're going to see me outside in the snow and in the ice training because that's what I planned for that day. And if you have sports and you have activities that are outside sports, so like that's what I have.
Right.
I find myself doing that I look at the forecast and go, well, it's going to be raining that day. So I'm going to wait to the next day to go tracking, but I'm going to have times where I have to track in the rain. And if my habit is that as soon as I get off work, I grab the dogs and I go to the field, as long as I'm not going to tear up my field, I need to plan my locations differently, but you need to commit to still going out in that crappy weather and just know that you're going to have gains from it. And it's hard sometimes to recognize. And I think that's what keeps me from doing some things, is that I have a hard time recognizing the good that's coming of it because it's not immediate.
Yeah.
And my brain likes immediate gratification. I don't know about y'all.
Oh yeah. I'm actually like
dopamine.
I'm looking at like my new favorite book right now, The Brave Athlete, right? Call me F down. I can say because we're explicit. I don't want to make it explicit, but calm the F down, right? And rise to the occasion. There's a whole chapter in here on motivation. And it starts off with, the whole like the physical fitness motivational Monday. And it's just like, eye roll, please, right? Because it says the athletic goal setting can really only help cajole, channel, and direct motivation. It can't create the actual doing. So it's the doing that you have to kind of create that habit for. And they get into things like, dopamine and stuff like that. But a lot of what they're talking about is if you understand and you can break down kind of the what the pattern is of like your they call it like a trigger, a ritual, and then a reward. So for instance, if you this is very much is focused on a lot of exercise, like getting training for, triathlons and stuff like that. So, if they were going to go running, the trigger would be, the shoes sitting out by the back door, and you have to go, and it's like, your shoes are there. So they're already set out. Of course, it wouldn't work out with Prize because she's, a shoe reorganizer. And then after you do something like that, you actually get a little bit of reward out of it, so you actually reward yourself for doing it. But that was kind of some of the idea about helping to create some of those habits. So if we're thinking about training our dogs, well, how many of us, for instance, have treats in an area, and Robin, I know you do this, where it's easily accessible. So if you have your things that you need to be able to train your dog for just those couple minutes, and it's at your ready, it's easily available, it's right there. You have clickers all over the house if you train with a clicker, for instance. That's one example. Or different things that to make it easier to get those few minutes in.
I have toy bins. It sounds kind of funny. Okay, I have toy bins stashed all over my house for two reasons. One, mainly because the dogs drag toys all over the house, and since I have puppies, and so this allows me to just stash toys wherever around the house. But I also have those toy bins in locations that it tends to be where I stage my stuff to train.
Yeah,
it really helps. Or Crystal turned me on to the chicken and apple treats from Costco. And when you go buy a case of them, because
were those sausage things?
It was the sausage things. They also come in a round thing.
Oh, okay, because the sausage things, those are nope treats for Brava, believe it or not. She says they stick in her teeth. She doesn't like those, but the other dog
for checkmate too. But the round ones, they love the round
them.
Ones.
And so, but I'll buy cases of either one of them because depending on the dogs, it works. Yeah. And I actually have a tote out in my garage that stores them. So I know when I run low on treats, I just go grab them, and I'm set to do a Costco run because I think I'm down to like 4 bags.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Scariness.
That's like what, a week?
Well, and then I have my Chewy orders come in that also have treats come. So yeah. And I'll tell you, things like the Chewy order, like the puppies are going through, their little monsters who are eating a ton of food. It's like Chewy auto ship, come a week early.
Yeah.
And when I can automate some of those that stuff, because I need the bandwidth in my brain to go train. Right.
Yeah. Cause I think that's kind of a big part of it. And I start to think about, like, if I'm going to train something, part of the issue is sometimes when you have a lot of dogs. And let's say your dogs are all working on a similar thing. So in my case, I have 3 dogs at the elite level and 1 dog at the summit level right now. Right. So they're all working on all the same skills. So if I set out a search, my inclination is to run all 4 of them through it, which you would think like, oh, great, you can train 4 dogs. But sometimes depending upon what I've come, it may not be set for each one of the dogs. And they each need their individual attention. And if I have something on the horizon for one of the dogs, it's actually better to just take that one dog out.
Yeah. You leave that. I mean, Nico was at the vet today, and I only took Sheba, and she got my full attention for a really long time today. She's in there like sawing logs because she's like, I'm exhausted, Mom.
But it's amazing how much more you get out of it when you do take one dog.
You're focused.
Yeah. I mean, granted, if I have them all in the van and I do a big training day and they all are training a few hours and they all get trained, that's great because they all need it. But sometimes I do need, so I sometimes have like those big clumps of training where I'm training everybody and we're going to do a couple searches. Everybody gets work. But then sometimes, so I have that. And then the other kind of training I have is just like, I'm just taking you out right now. You're the only one that gets to leave the house. And we're just going to go and do 2 searches. And so then it's done actually rather quickly. It doesn't take that much time. but I can focus entirely on her and I can tailor what I'm doing for her. And it makes a bigger impact. And I was doing that like when I was retraining the containers with powder, right? I would just put her in the van, take the containers, and it was focused training with just her every day.
Huge difference.
And it made a really big difference. Made a huge difference.
And that 5 minutes, that whole conversation around, if it's important enough to you that this is your thing, where's the 5 minutes per day that you can carve out to do it? Yeah. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, deep. Attacked right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally attacked.
And I think something that I've been struggling with is I've been trying to pack in so much in the same amount of time.
Yeah.
That I also have to go, you know what? I also need some downtime.
Yes.
Because even in my air quotes downtime, like I don't watch movies, I don't watch TV, I don't have time. And so even in that time, I was listening to podcasts, and sometimes I would even be reading an article at the same time. And I would pause because one would grab my attention more. So I'd pause one to listen to the other, or, then I would and I always have the podcast going on like 1.5 speed, because it's like, it's not fast enough. I'm like, okay, yeah, go. And so then I recognized, I'm like, I'm wearing myself out. I need to just do nothing sometimes. That's something that I struggle with. It's what's keeping me from sometimes of just shutting down and allowing myself to breathe and not have to think and process. And I think I go back to when we played like Portal and those kinds of games where it's human shaping. Mm-hmm. And so one human shapes the other human to do a task, and you don't know what the task is, but the rest of the group knows. And twice, because I have jerk friends, I'm the Malinois of the group. So I'm like touching my toes and running around. I'm like, I'm going to figure this out fast. And 2 different times, you know what the activity was that they were shaping me to do?
What?
Nothing.
Oh,
do you know how hard that is? But do you also know?
That's just mean.
Well, but it's such an important lesson for me because I think about my dog.
Yeah.
And how hard is it for that dog that is like, go, 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 to actually shape them and to teach them how to do nothing? It was so hard. And if I can do it as a master's degree, and somewhat intelligent human.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you say that, because I found myself driving a lot this last week with the radio off.
Oh yeah, that's sometimes good.
Because I had to have process time. And that was 2 hours, because we were driving back and forth. That was 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
That I was basically just sitting in my car driving and thinking.
Yeah.
And things get pretty real when you start doing that, when you're your own company.
Well, and it's how you build creativity.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, I can't do that, and I need to turn on the radio. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I really need to think about this. So just
yes.
And I tell the kids that all the time as a high school art teacher, to build your creative bone and to get your imagination going.
Yeah.
Do nothing. Disconnect from your phone. Disconnect from every distraction. I want you to try to make yourself bored. And it's fascinating how hard that is.
Yeah.
Some kids are like, got it. I'm like, I need to channel you. But especially for my anxious kids, and that is so hard for them, because you can see them almost like start to kind of freak out that they can't look at their phone and they can't look at their watch, and they're like, what time is it? Has it been? I was like, it's been 10 seconds. You can do this.
I have a friend of mine who gives me a hard time about that all the time. And she listens to our podcast, and she knows who she is, who's always telling me, I can't think of the exact words, but basically that you're doing a whole lot of crap there and you need to just slow down. And I'm just like, but I can't, let's do all the things. This is my life. She's right. I just have a hard time doing it. Chris, just put that name. She knows who I'm talking about. I just said her name. She knows it.
Yeah. So that brings me to the question of what keeps you from balance. What keeps making us drive and keep thinking we have to do so much? I mean, no one's telling me that. I could go do my art job, and then I could go home and I could sleep all night or do the dishes or play with dogs. Like, there's no one telling me anything I have to do.
It's my hashtag high drive human. I'm telling you, it's like this, almost like this compulsion to just keep. It's like you got to create, you got to think, you got to do, you got to da 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 da. Right? It's hard to just kind of put that on pause for a moment.
But is it because you don't want balance? Are you happy with where you are?
No. I just don't know how, right? You end up, you don't know how to do it. You don't know how to stop. You don't know how to get off the merry-go-round there,
Interesting thoughts.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
God, I feel totally called out, man.
I love you.
I love you too.
Yeah.
I love you too.
Didn't mean it to go that route. You're the one that called yourself out from your friend, and then it just kind of went there.
I know. She's always telling me about balance, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
And I'm there too. And
yeah.
I'm trying to kind of start my retirement career at the same time of still keeping my actual career active.
Yeah.
And I'm finding that my retirement career is picking up a little faster than I thought that it would.
So it happens when you're good at what you do.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So I'm trying to find the balance of, I really love what I'm doing. And that's the part of what's keeping me from finding balance, is that I'm enjoying stuff so much.
Yeah.
But then I know that I've already said it in a previous one about goals. My goal is to get more sleep, and that's not happening. I'm getting less than what I even wanted before. And I just now took on 2 more jobs. Like, what? So I guess my question is, what's keeping me from saying no? And really I'm just having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But not healthy. So thoughts.
Hey, you just talked to somebody who I canceled my Airbnb because I didn't have time to stop and check in and then sleep there and then check out in the morning and go to the trial. So I just slept in the van, So yeah. Although I have to say, big call out to my mattress, man. It's 5 inches. It's actually pretty comfortable. So,
Well, and one of the hardest things for me has been, I get teaching requests.
Yeah.
And I have found, unfortunately, that with everything else going on in my life, mini donkeys, husband, farm, calving,
puppies,
running a business, puppies, traveling is highly difficult.
Yeah.
And so I've been saying no to a lot of seminars, which has actually freed up some creative space in my brain. And it actually has allowed me that when I'm booking people now to come here and train, I actually am able to give, when you're here, we're training.
Yeah.
And Brad Dennis asked at one of the seminars that we did a couple of years ago, he's like, who is the most important person in the world right now? And to you. And, you start thinking all of this stuff. And the answer is the person who is standing right in front of you, you're having a conversation with. That's the most important person in the world to you at that moment.
Yep. Awesome.
And so, what's keeping you from paying attention to the person who's standing right in front of you at that moment to be fully invested in who they are and want to be?
Yeah.
And so, those are some of the questions that I ask myself, besides the whole, okay, don't eat 500 pounds of sugar in one day. And can you train your dog to do a contact heel?
And then I think I have another question too, off topic, on topic. It's still what's keeping you from, but what's keeping you from improving in, I don't know how to say it, fulfilling your and your dog's potential and improvement.
Oh, I know.
Stacy talked about only focusing on the one dog.
Yeah, I'm thinking about myself.
Okay.
For me, I need blind hides, and I know I am a broken record on this one. I've just been talking to people all over the place. I need blind hides. is when you train mostly by yourself. Like, for instance, honestly, I can train the heck out of a dog, but when I'm out searching with a dog, it's a team. And we've talked about before where known hides train the dog, blind hides train the handler. Well, I'm really good at the known hide part of it. I need training for me. The hard part for me is access, with my training schedule, right? Training with people and getting blind hides. That's what's getting in my way.
Can we help you figure out ways to get people to do that?
Hey, if people would like ping me and say, hey, I'll set hides for you, I'm like, all there. Seriously. I mean, I'm half joking. I'm only half joking.
Is it a lack of access to people that know how to do it?
Yeah.
Or just people in general?
And available. People that can do it and people who are available to do it. The two of those. And of course, with my crazy schedule.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a real struggle. And I know, I have a lot of students who only train virtually. They really just train by themselves, and they don't have people locally that they know who do nose work, or they don't have a local instructor, and they're literally learning just online, and they don't have the ability to do blind hides. And unfortunately, fortunately, you can really train your dog really well if you have the skills for that, and you know how to really do a lot of the dog-driven searches where the dog really understand. The dog is learning, the dog's understanding the airflow, and you're creating those behaviors that you want. That part's awesome. And even with a video, yeah, I can give a lot of after the fact feedback to people, even when they give me the videos, but it's the being able, when you start working those unknown number of hides and nose work and that kind of thing, and you have to be able to call finish, right? You kind of need the blind work at that point.
You do.
It's really hard to balance that out. So for me, that is like my sticky wicket there, for the stuff that I want for my own personal goals. It's kind of like this, like holy grail for me is to find people to set hides for me. It's crazy.
I wonder how many people out there are able to collaborate in other areas. So like if there's a local search and rescue team, or if there's local canine handlers that do detection.
Right.
I mean, how interesting would it be to be able to reach out to those different, groups and try to collaborate in that way?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just trying to kind of problem solve. And
I'm at the point where I don't even care if people know how to set hides. Just put crap out for me. And, like we did have this discussion. I'm like, I was talking to my mom and she's like, well, I could set hides for you. And I'm like, yes, she has no idea what she's doing. I'm just going to give her a primer.
Yeah.
And be like, you know what? My dogs will find it.
Yeah.
And you had a great idea, actually, Crystal. Was it Crystal? Yeah, I think.
Know.
With
Robin.
the dice.
The dice. And Robin, it was your idea, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I give the credit.
Okay. Because, we talk. So, yeah.
We did.
Mine's using the app.
Yours is using in the app. Mine was because I'm old school.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, you just go give them a 6-sided die.
And I have the app that has the dice. And so you just roll the dice on the screen. So that way I don't have to have an actual dice.
Yeah.
Look at that. Because, I can't even find a pop bottle cap in my car.
I know I can't keep anything, but I keep my phone.
Right. So, but then you have, and this is a great idea for randomization of, how many hides do you put out depending on whatever you're working on. And for me, I was like, well, Stacy, you have 1 to 5 hides. And if they roll a 6, guess what? That's a 0. It's a blank.
Yeah. And you give your hide setter, which could be your mother in my case,
right,
or my best friend Elizabeth, who's a cat person, right?
Here's 6 hides, and
here's your dice,
and here's your dice, and knock yourself out.
Yeah. I'll tell you that Facebook Marketplace, I just put a post out that said, hey, I need some cars to search to teach my dog systematic searching on cars. I had over 100 people offering that I could go to their house and search their cars and their neighbors' cars. And I mean,
wow.
And that was just Facebook Marketplace and Nextdoor. So, I mean, those are also options. It's so just your neighborhood kind of community stuff on social media.
Wow.
So those are also just things to consider. I'm looking for this kind of place to search, or, I'm looking for someone just to put, and even your high schools, there's so many different groups that do volunteer work within the high schools, and contacting the counselor secretary, they typically, or the activity secretary, they know all the clubs and organizations, and they can send out an email to staff that will say, hey, are any students needing volunteer hours? And
yeah, well, I mean, that's not going to work for the sport people, but for search and rescue, yeah, I mean,
no, you said you just need somebody. Like, they don't have to know anything.
Yeah, but if for volunteer, I mean, it wouldn't count, like volunteer to come help me train my dog. It's not quite.
But they would.
You never know with some of the FFA stuff for small animal.
Oh.
And you've got 4-H, and you've got a lot of groups out there. The Scouts, there's so many. So don't discount it. There's a lot in there.
Oh.
Like, I know of 3 different clubs just in my high school that those kids would get service hours for going to help you by just putting stuff in weird places.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Got my thinking cap on there. Anyway, you asked what was in my way. That, my friend, is in my way.
Yeah.
Mud is in my way.
Yeah, Robin, what's in your way of making the most efficient improvements? There we go. That's a better way of wording it.
Making the most efficient improvements where?
Yeah. In your training, in your planning.
Okay. Removing the puppy factor, which has sucked up my entire basement, which right now is my training room. Lack of purpose. And really embracing the whole concept of sometimes training just to train. And really sort of embracing the fact that there is a bunch of stuff that I can train my dogs to do that is, I mean, they're good at what they do. But if I would spend a little bit more investment in some of the basic behaviors or some other behaviors that I want them to do, that would actually be a force multiplier to how good my dogs could be.
Yeah.
And understanding that just because everybody else has a time frame that equates to as fast as humanly possible, like before your dog is the age of 2.5, that I do not have to operate on that particular time frame. Yeah. It's okay if I put titles or certifications on my dogs when they're 3. It'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
So, and is that more about dog training, or is that more about me just finally going, you know what? This is how my world works.
Yeah.
I don't have to do everything in a cooker pressure time frame.
It's kind of interesting about the pressure cooker time frame, right? Is I know about you, and the way I work, sometimes if I don't have that pressure cooker time frame, I can't get it done.
Right.
It's like if I don't have that target, it's really hard to get mobilized.
Well, and there's reasons I also register for certifications and then have, oh my God, what did I do moments, right?
Yeah.
And, we have annual certifications for dogs. Yeah. So, but for me, that starts turning into that. Yeah. That's the pressure cooker time frame. Yeah. But then if I'm starting to talk about wanting to get in to do other stuff that has more to do with titles instead of certifications,
right?
There's really not, the rest of the industry may say you need to have stuff done by the time the dogs are 2.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, oh man.
The dogs could be 5. They're fine. So I think that's something that was a little bit of an aha moment that happened over the weekend for me of it, and really starting to look at some of the other stuff that I should train my detection dogs to do, not as these totally separate things, but as flair to go on my dogs.
Yeah.
Because then they will be more robust in their actual job.
So it's kind of like not training the sexy stuff. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah. I mean, do I need a contact heel for Nico to do anything? No. But it's something that I could have trained 3 years ago and just have never done. But I have an excellent opportunity. I can put myself on a time frame because I've got 14 days and then I can go back to doing detection work with him or other stuff.
Right.
But he needs something more than just laying in his kennel being a bump on a pickle.
Yeah. I got 2 bumps on a pickle right now. I got the hospital going on, but they're not really allowed to do anything right now. For those of you who are listening, like, what are you talking about? Brava got spayed and Y had a bunch of tooth extractions and a lipoma removal. So they're both wearing their little pseuticals and they're just
and I mean Nico's in a cone-ish thing and on some drugs. So he's I also have to time my training when he's kind of done with some of his drugs, so he's not wanting to be a lump. Well, he's a Dutch Shepherd,
and I'm trying to stretch out the trazodone because it's like I only have so much of it. So it's I get it.
My dogs don't. Nico, even on trazodone, wouldn't want to be a lump. But
that's a struggle I have, especially. I mean, Checkmate getting ready to have his surgery too. I mean, he has to have the trifecta. Yeah, he's the only dog that Ohio. I don't know if I told you that story. I'm sure I told you that story. Goes up for his hip replacement, and they usually keep them the entire next day. And they called me first thing in the morning and said, "You need to come get your dog."
Oh, no.
So that night after hip replacement, he destroyed their kennel.
Oh, no.
Actually broke their kennel and was out running loose all through the place. And they're like, "He cannot do that. Can you keep him calm?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm coming." So, and they've told that story to other clients too, because I have friends that'll call and say, "Oh my gosh, they told me the Checkmate story and they didn't know we were friends." So he's a little infamous up there at Ohio State.
And you're going to get the other one done.
So the very next morning, I already know they've said, they're like, as soon as the surgery is done, we had to keep him just overnight just to make sure that he's safe. And he's going home with you with the trifecta. So it's the ACE, the Traz, and the gabapentin.
Whoa. Oh my gosh.
That's the only thing just to take the edge off enough that he's not up and running around.
Wow, with ACE, because I mean, for my vet, they do the gabapentin and the trazodone.
I don't recommend. I'm not a vet, but I don't recommend doing just ACE by itself because it just slows their body down, but their mind is still very sharp, and that's really hard on them. But then when you add the trazodone, that also slows their mind down, and then put the gabapentin, and that also slows the nerves down. And
everybody's pretty sleepy. Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
So I'm going to throw in there. I've been thinking a lot as you guys have been talking, of course. And the thing that's keeping me, I think, from progressing faster. So I see progress. That's good. I like that. But to go faster, I lack the dutifulness. And I know that's a neurodivergent problem, not blaming it on that, but consistency is nothing that comes easy to me ever. When they talk about finding something you do every day at the same time, there's nothing that I do at the same time every day. I don't even come home the same time. I'm late to work some days. I'm early to work some days. I can't think of anything I do at the same time except the bells ring at school and kids leave and kids come back.
Feeding dogs because they make you.
Yes.
Even food time is different every day. I mean, there's just... I truly cannot think of anything I do.
Would not.
I'm late to club. I'm early to club. So consistency is really that struggle. Yeah. But I think also confidence is a huge piece that I want to add to that. Yeah. And I am recognizing that I need to be more confident in my own ability.
Yes.
And I need to be more confident in my dog. And that's been a big conversation I've been having lately about Radish. Mm-hmm. Because I said that by Christmas, I would decide if she could do the job or not. And then Quinn happened and I lost him and all my focus went there. And so I didn't get the opportunity to train and do all the things that I'd wanted to do. And what it's done, it's given her more time to grow up. And that's kind of speaking to Robin's piece about some dogs need a little more time. And I just posted a video just a few days ago.
It was at the ball, her hunting.
Yeah, and it's just her just hunting for a ball.
Yes. But I was actually gonna mention that. Just so you know, I watched it. She looked awesome,
and she's turning on.
Yeah, she
And
looked really awesome. She looked
yeah,
really good.
and
Yeah.
she was tracking, and she was using all of her tools, and she
Yeah.
was dedicated. And I now have to switch my gears and become very confident that I have the dog that is meant to do the job that I want to do,
Yeah.
and start acting in that way. And I think that's going to help me leaps and bounds. And that was, I had 2 local trainer friends on the team that hopefully I'll get to join sometime soon. And they were like, you need confidence in yourself and your dog. And I'm like, you guys are spot on. Because
Yeah.
I've been asking all these questions. Is it not? And wishy-washy is never good for me. I'm never going to make the strides that I need to make if I'm always in limbo. Limbo sucks.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think
it really
that's
does.
also pulls into another concept that Nancy and I came up with from the Yin's thing, when he was talking about Einstein's quote about insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. We've heard that. And we called it erosion insanity, because the thing that was a really nice visual for us was the idea of water. And when water runs, it creates those little ruts. And then it's almost like you can never get rid of them. And they just keep getting deeper and deeper, like in your driveway or in the front yard, or mine's in the backyard, and it's terrible. And to be able to reroute this, I'm going to have to dig a trench. I'm going to have to put rock in it. I'm going to do a French drain. Like, it's a lot of work to fix those places of erosion.
Yeah.
But that's what's also holding me back, is that I've let things happen so many times that now I want to go back and fix them. And so whether it's the healing where Checkmate bounces and is healing, he's so happy, but it's not correct for my sport. And I've allowed it and rewarded it so many times by continuing. I've created that kind of erosion insanity. And it's the same with my habits of taking care of myself, and the habits of when I come home and the dogs all go crazy and bark and I want them to be quiet. Well, we've rehearsed that so many times that erosion is so deep.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to figure out completely new ways to address it. And so I think that also stops me a lot of times, because I'm like, it's too overwhelming now.
It feels too big. It feels too big.
Yeah. And it kind of is. So it takes a lot of creativity and problem solving with friends and a 5-hour drive from Iowa with Nancy to work through a lot of those issues and get new training plans and be inspired. And so, like you said, you need people to train with and people to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those are mine.
Yeah. Powerful, man. Just really powerful. It's just,
and I think I'd like to challenge everybody as a listener. You can feel free to share on social media what's keeping you from ... Or if you want, ask the question, I would like to ... give me your ideas.
Yeah.
And we really, we're a community. We're all here to help everybody get where they want to go. And so if you're struggling with something, and you could probably even reach out to us because you don't want to air laundry. I get it. So we would love to hear from you. And especially if you have ideas on, hey, I'm struggling to do XYZ. Can you guys talk about that? So, and keep in mind, we're going to have another roundtable probably in this summer. And so some of them may end up on those particular roundtables. So, ladies, do you have takeaways?
I feel like I just word vomited a lot.
Yeah, I just felt like,
erosion insanity. That's fine.
That was actually a really powerful concept. And my takeaway is that even though everything that you feel, things that kind of keep you, make you feel like you're being held back, or maybe or just like you're just having a hard time getting started, or any of this, all of these feelings always feel very personal, and they are, right? Because you feel them. But my takeaway here is that that's not a unique situation to you, because we all feel that way about something, and we're all struggling with that. And one of the
We're
good
all
things
struggling. I don't care
all struggling.
how awesome your world looks on Facebook. We're all struggling.
Exactly. Reach out and talk to somebody about it, because they may come up with some like really kind of cool answer, like rolling dice,
Yes.
or whatever it is. Just, different ideas that you hadn't thought of, and where your problem may feel huge might actually be solvable. That's my takeaway.
Awesome.
Love it. Robin?
My takeaways are probably kind of on Stacy's side of, it's personal, but don't take it personally.
Yeah.
Because somebody might have a solution, but you gotta ask. The other thing is the whole concept of that self-reflection piece, to really sit back and think about, why is this a thing? And, is it a thing like, oh my gosh, I'm imposing all of this external pressure on me that I need to get, dogs titled and certified by the time that they're 2? Or is it something that I can take a breath and it's fine?
Yeah.
And having the dutifulness to understand that, you know what? I'm a professional trainer, and I want to have dogs that look like I'm a professional trainer. So maybe I need to do the boring stuff, or what I consider the boring stuff, because there are people out there who are weird, who think obedience is awesome. I don't know who you are.
Yep. Right.
Hashtag attacked.
I know.
But we make
Love
it
you.
fun. Come on.
I know. Yeah, you guys make it fun. And my brain is going to have to get there. I used to hate directionals. I used to hate female level directionals. Now I think they are like the best thing on the planet, and I use them as a teaching tool.
I felt the same way about containers.
Right.
Hated them. Love them now.
And so it's just
Like,
a shift.
yeah. A mind shift.
Anyway, that was like a long blathery takeaway.
It was
Sorry.
I
cool.
like it.
It was cool.
This is my shortest one yet. You guys went with it. I love it.
Yeah.
I had 2
Okay.
words.
It was erosion.
Erosion insanity.
Yes.
Erosion insanity. I really like that thought. It's very powerful.
Yeah, it's just that it gets deeper and deeper and deeper and more entrenched. And oof, it's
We
so
do it all the time
hard.
with our dogs too. All this
We
bad
do.
habit.
Yeah,
Yes,
Right.
we do.
I just think we've all dealt with it sometime.
Yeah.
We do. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for listening, and go train.
Yay.
Canine Detection Collaborative! We appreciate the time you spend with us. If you liked this episode, not only should you follow us so you don't miss the next one, but please also rate and review us in your favorite podcast app. For info on collaborating with us, go to k9detectioncollaborative.com. That's K9detectioncollaborative.com, where you can find our socials and pick up our latest monthly freebie. Join us again to talk training in the next episode.